12 years after the last one. Is it going to be symbolic politically, or actually there are real contents to follow up?
Well, you know that the one thing that this visit brings out most clearly is that both prime ministers are personally invested, meaning they're making a personal commitment to the good ties between the two countries. And of course, as your report has brought out, that they also held a 90-minute meeting. The agenda between India and Pakistan is a long one. And I think this is a good beginning, because there are many issues that need to be discussed and have been awaiting an appropriate moment for the discussion.
Right. Mr. Joshi, do you have any specific information as to, among all of the topics being mentioned at the discussion, 90 minutes long, what are some of the ones bearing fruits, even though just a little bit early bird fruit at this moment?
Well, you know, I think that there will be progress, and there is progress on the issue of terrorism from the Pakistani side. India has faced a lot of militant attacks from people who have been based in Pakistan, and I think the Pakistan government has assured us that they are doing their best to prevent such attacks from taking place. In addition to that, I think there are moves to restore the dialogue with regard to the contentious issue of Kashmir. I think next month, when the foreign secretaries will meet, many of the subjects, many of the outstanding issues, they deal with the Siachen Glacier issue, they deal with the Sir Creek issue. All these were discussed at the Lahore talks in a kind of a preliminary fashion.
Mr. Hu, here in Beijing, you have been a long-time China observer about India and also Pakistan, as well as China's relations individually with these two countries. What do you make of this so-called surprise visit? It is not the first time, in fact, such quote-unquote surprise visit happened in history.
As a matter of fact, it looks like a surprise visit. As a matter of fact, it's a direct result of at least the last month's high-level interactions, like the visit of Indian Foreign Minister to Pakistan, and also the dialogue between the two security advisor of the two prime ministers. So they already laid the foundation for this visit. So it looks like a surprise, but I think the purpose is to try to dilute or reduce the protest or oppositions from the conservative forces of the two countries. This is what. The second is that I can see that this is also that the Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, really want, because in the past 1.5 years, he already visited nearly all the South Asian neighbor countries, but except Afghanistan and Pakistan. But this time on the trip back from Afghanistan, and have a short stop in Pakistan. So it make the whole trip, his whole neighborhood policies to have a wonderful full stop.
Wonderful full stop. I hope he will pick that up in the next step. I'm told right now, joining us on the phone, Mr. Zahid Hussain, coming from Pakistan. Mr. Hussain, an award-winning journalist and writer from the Wilson Center. Mr. Hussain, welcome to our program. What do you make from the Pakistani perspective of this quote-unquote surprise visit about Kashmir? Is that going to be the biggest achievement among all the topics being touched on?
Well, actually, it was certainly a very positive gesture from Indian Prime Minister that he stopped over in Lahore to meet his Pakistani counterpart. Basically, it has broken the ice, which since Mr. Modi came to power, there was a reluctance to engage with Pakistan. Now, finally, actually, it seems that India is prepared to engage with Pakistan. That's a very positive development. But what I believe, actually, this thing should go beyond symbolism. It's one thing that they came over, good gesture. But now, actually, they should sit. These two countries should sit and talk actually on the substantive issue, without actually engaging on substantive issue, which is basically the main cause of tension between the two countries. I don't think there will be any move forward.
I see.
But one can hope that the comprehensive dialogue has started. It will be starting soon. it should be a structured talk. And then it is a good thing that they are talking on all the issues, including Kashmir, because that has been the major cause of tension between the two countries. The two countries have gone to war on that issue.
Okay.
So it's a positive signal, but one has to wait whether they can move forward from there.
I see. And therefore, let me go to you here, rather in India, Mr. Joshi. What do you make of your Pakistani counterpart's remarks? Mainly, he was suggesting this should not be just a political gesture or a political show by your prime minister, because he just wants to complete his South Asian roadmap of a visit for his political career, but rather some real substantial issues have to be go into depth for discussion. Are we really seeing the next step of depth? What are those depths that you are looking at?
Well, as you know, that this has been preceded by a dialogue between the two national security advisors. And the national security advisors were supposed to discuss the issue of terrorism. According to the UFA declaration, which was made in July, they are also now supposed to discuss the border guarding forces of the two sides, will discuss issues relating to the border. Some of those steps have been already laid out in the UFA declaration. In addition to that, as you know, after the National Security Advisor dialogue, now we will have the dialogue between the foreign secretaries of the two sides, where these substantive issues, Kashmir, Siachen, Sir Creek, these are outstanding issues, nuclear issue, discussing nuclear peace between the two countries. All these will be, during the foreign secretaries dialogue, they will decide on that structure. And then, if I may tell you, next year, India is hosting the Heart of Asia conference dealing with Afghanistan. That will take place in India. And finally, in September, I think, Pakistan is hosting the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation Summit in Islamabad. And Prime Minister Modi has already committed that he will attend that conference. So I can see from now to September already a process which is in place. And I think it will be a structured process.
Will that momentum, Mr. Hu, continue, particularly the real content, the in-depth discussion about the real issues?
You see, the real issues has always been very ticklish. There are two ticklish issues between Pakistan and India. One is that Kashmir issue. It's too complicated. And the other is the transporter terrorist issue, also very complicated, because the positions on these two issues totally different against each other. So in the past, they make several efforts. In some of the time, for example, during Musharraf's time, the two countries, the two top leaders nearly reached mutual understandings on Kashmir-related issues, but finally, because of the hardline of respective countries' backlash, so they finally giving it up or back from their original position. So whether this time they can really marching forward and make some breakthroughs, I think we still need time to see.
Whether it's yesterday once more or not, what do you think are the most important factors, whether they're really going to push things forward?
I think the most difficulties, the obstacles may be coming from their respective internal oppositions.
Yeah, what do you think?
In Pakistan, I think the major opposition may be coming from the army. The army still regarded that the Kashmir issue is still within their domain. They should have the final say. While in Indian side, I think the rightist, especially the Hinduist forces, especially ISS, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which is the rightist forces of Hinduism. So they will provide some suggestions, even oppositions, obstacles to the final settlement of this kind of ticklish issues, because the future settlement should be based not only on the ground realities, but also should take consideration of the historical background.
Right. Mr. Joshi, do you agree with the analysis coming from Beijing?
Well, I think, Shisheng is a very respected analyst. What I would say is that in Pakistan, it's not just the army. there are also very strong Islamist forces. In the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, meaning the parent organization, there are very strong resistance to any kind of normalization with India. Pakistan has been resisting the idea of giving India the most favored nation status and opening up its borders to trade. So there are deeper issues definitely involved out there. But I think the biggest uncertainty arises from the danger, let us say, of another terrorist attack on India, like the attack that took place in Mumbai in 2008. Something like that will derail the process, and I think that's something which all of us are very worried about.
I see. Mr. Hu, not only India-Pakistan, the bilateral relations, but also China's relations individually with these two countries, and also China's overall plan to work with countries in South Asia. China's Belt and Road Initiative has a lot to do with Pakistan's development. $60 billion, that is the plan of investment inside Pakistan, huge price tag. So the security there and its relations with the neighboring countries is going to play a huge part in whether China's strategy could be successful working with the regional countries in this part of the world. So what do you make of this movement between these two countries and implications on China's role?
I think that if there is one country in this world would like to see the stability and normalization of the bilateral relations between Pakistan and India, I think there could be China, because China not only bordering with India, but also bordering with Pakistan. And India and Pakistan are two nuclear bomb countries. So if their relations are not confronting against each other, the spillover effect upon China is severe, very heavy. On the other hand, just now you rightly pointed out the One Belt, One Road initiative, especially the CPEC, we call China and Pakistan Economic Corridor constructions. They need a favorable environment to carry forward in the future. So China is the is the country which would like to see the stability and normalization of the relations between these two countries. And sometimes, if the two countries' relations become abnormal or difficulty, China will always plunge it into accuracy while carrying forward its South Asia policies.
I see.
And also, if in the future One Belt, One Road want to integrate the whole region between China and South Asia, really the number one South Asian country, India, and the number two South Asian country, Pakistan, will value a lot in the whole implement of China's One Belt, One Road, especially the maritime Silk Road and the land-based Silk Road interface with each other.